What happens when two gospel powerhouses come head-to-head? Gino Jennings has finally come face-to-face with Kim Burrell in a fiery and intense exchange that's sending shockwaves throughout the gospel world. Hidden grievances, lingering disputes, and powerful truths all erupted in this rare and raw encounter. You'll be stunned by what came to light. This moment carries serious weight for both of their legacies. Don't go anywhere because this is the clash that the gospel community has been anticipating for years. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most buzzed about showdowns in gospel music and ministry, the long-anticipated confrontation between Bishop Gino Jennings and Pastor Kim Burrell. For years, rumors, disagreements, and public statements have hinted at a quiet feud between these two major voices. But now, everything is finally on the table. In this video, we're breaking down the full story of their intense dialogue, what led up to it, what was actually said, and the ripple effects it's having on their ministries and followers.
You'll hear all the verified details, documented statements, and behind-the-scenes insights that have been quietly brewing. If you want the complete breakdown of this fiery exchange, from the initial build-up to the lasting consequences, you're in the right place. Be sure to watch closely because there are some shocking moments you truly don't want to miss, including unexpected twists that might just shift your perspective on both of these leaders. So strap in and let's unpack the full story of Gino Jennings finally going toe-to-toe with Kim Burrell. To really grasp the intensity of what just happened, we need to take a step back and explore the backstory between Bishop Gino Jennings and Pastor Kim Burrell. These two are undeniable forces in the gospel world, renowned not only for their powerful sermons and music, but also for their bold personalities and unwavering doctrinal views. Over the years, both public and private clashes began to emerge. Insiders close to both camps suggest the original friction stemmed from deep theological differences. Gino Jennings is widely recognized for his firm, no-compromise stance on Scripture, especially when it comes to holiness and the structure of church leadership. On the other hand, while Kim Burrell is equally zealous about the gospel, her style leans more modern and inclusive in both ministry and worship. What escalated the tension were some pointed remarks and subtle jabs scattered across social media posts, interviews, and even sermons. Supporters picked up on the undercurrent of conflict, but the full scope remained elusive. Until now.
Some even speculated that jealousy or rivalry was at play, but those close to the situation insist it stemmed from deeply rooted convictions and a fundamental clash in ministry philosophies. A key turning point came when Kim Burrell made public remarks criticizing what she viewed as overly legalistic practices within certain gospel ministries, remarks many interpreted as being aimed at Jennings and his followers. That sparked a ripple throughout the community, prompting swift responses from Jennings' camp. They stood firmly by their doctrinal positions and began to question Burrell's approach to ministry. But the tension didn't stop there. Behind closed doors, things were heating up. Several sources revealed that calls and messages had been exchanged, yet neither party was fully prepared to confront the issue until now. The road to this confrontation was marked by sidestepping, rising unease, and an increasing desire for resolution, all of which eventually pushed things to a breaking point. And that's exactly what led to the intense conversation we're about to explore. But here's the twist: what took place in that moment wasn't what many were expecting.
Stay tuned, because what followed changed the entire narrative. When Bishop Gino Jennings and Pastor Kim Burrell finally stood face-to-face, the moment was one that fans, critics, and insiders alike had been waiting for, and according to those close to both camps, it was nothing short of make or break. The meeting happened privately, away from any cameras or public attention, in hopes that honest conversation might finally bring clarity. The atmosphere was reportedly tense yet respectful, a neutral space where both leaders could speak their minds without interruption or distraction. But from the very first words exchanged, it became clear that this wouldn't be a relaxed discussion. Gino Jennings started things off with his trademark boldness, confronting the months of accusations and misunderstandings head-on. He held nothing back, directly calling out what he saw as deliberate mischaracterizations of both his doctrine and his ministry. Jennings made it clear that his mission had always been centered on biblical truth and holiness, something he believed had been wrongly criticized. Kim Burrell, composed yet assertive, responded by standing behind her ministry's core message of grace, inclusion, and the redemptive power of love and worship. She voiced her concerns about what she felt was harsh legalism and judgment within certain gospel circles, subtly referencing Jennings' methods. The exchange quickly transformed into a fiery theological debate, touching on leadership philosophies, scripture, and the evolving role of gospel music within modern ministry. Both spoke with conviction, citing years of experience, personal stories, and biblical texts to support their positions.
This wasn't just a clash of strong personalities, it was a deep-rooted theological divide being exposed in real time. What took many insiders by surprise was the emotional layer that ran beneath the entire debate, beneath all the words exchanged. There was a sincere longing for respect and acknowledgement, tangled with the pain of years spent feeling misunderstood or even targeted. About halfway through the exchange, an unexpected moment of openness emerged when Kim Burrell shared a deeply personal story about her struggles in ministry, including times she felt abandoned or unfairly criticized by fellow leaders. This moment visibly caught Jennings off guard, bringing a noticeable shift in the tone of the confrontation. But things didn't end there. Almost immediately afterward, the conversation took another unexpected twist as Jennings introduced private messages that had been exchanged behind closed-doors, messages that seemed to challenge the public narratives both sides had long maintained. The revelation of those messages left the room frozen in stunned silence.
What exactly was said in those messages? And how did they alter the entire mood of the encounter? That's what we're diving into next, so stay right here. Just when it appeared that Bishop Gino Jennings and Pastor Kim Burrell were beginning to reach a deeper level of mutual understanding, the energy in the room shifted suddenly and sharply. With a serious and unwavering tone, Jennings presented something few were anticipating: private message exchanges between him and Burrell. Over the last year, these messages had remained entirely out of the public eye, until now. And what they revealed painted a much different picture from the tension-filled public discourse. The messages included raw and candid moments where both Jennings and Burrell voiced their frustrations, shared concerns, and even made attempts to reconcile. But perhaps more importantly, they uncovered underlying emotional strain and misunderstandings that had not been visible to the public before. In those private exchanges, Kim Burrell admitted feeling misread by Jennings and his supporters, acknowledging that some of her more public remarks might have been taken the wrong way. Jennings, for his part, expressed disappointment over what he saw as inconsistent messaging and a reluctance to engage more deeply with doctrinal disagreements in private settings. What truly made these revelations so striking were a few particular messages where the tone became significantly more intense. There were accusations of misrepresentation, claims of betrayal by once trusted allies, and warnings about potential fallout that could harm both of their ministries. This long-hidden undercurrent of mistrust came crashing into the open, altering the entire dynamic of the conversation moving forward. One particularly explosive message that Jennings brought forward accused Burrell's camp of crafting a media narrative designed to weaken his influence, especially among the younger generation within the gospel scene. On the other hand, Burrell's team responded privately, claiming that Jennings' sharp public comments had stirred unnecessary division throughout the gospel community. This exchange exposed not only a theological disagreement but a clear power struggle. It became evident that their dispute extended far beyond doctrine or ministry style. At its core, it was also about legacy, reach, and influence. In today's competitive gospel environment, the weight of these messages reached far past their personal dynamic. They signaled a broader impact across gospel ministries, with factions beginning to form in support of each figure, leaving many followers unsure of where the real truth stood. As the dialogue unfolded, both Jennings and Burrell began to recognize just how significant these revelations were and how powerfully they could influence public perception moving forward.
In spite of all the tension, there was a brief yet powerful moment when both leaders agreed on the urgent need for a path forward, a path of healing, not only for themselves, but for the broader gospel community. If this video gave you a deeper understanding, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth explorations of gospel world controversies. And tap that notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming content. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next video.